What's your full name?
Ronald Joseph Chisholm.
And you have a nickname?
Bo.
So how did you get this nickname?
I have two brothers, and they were 1 and 2 years old when I was born, and my parents were going to call me Joe. Mm-hmm. And the boys, instead of saying Joe, they said Bo, and it just stuck with me.
That's awesome. Okay, so when were you born?
March 9th, 38.
And were you born in the Antigonish area?
Yes, yeah. Antigonish, yeah.
So from there, where exactly did you grow up in the county?
In town.
Okay. So what was it like during that time?
It was good. I had a good life.
Yeah.
My father was in the insurance business, mm-hmm. and we had what we wanted.
Yeah.
As kids, we grew up.
For sure.
With what we wanted.
So what were the people like in the area?
Everybody was, you mean the neighborhood type of thing?
Yeah.
Very, very friendly people, yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like you knew everyone in the area.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Knew everybody in town in those days.
For sure.
Well, in those days, the stores were open on Saturday night, mm-hmm. closed Wednesday afternoon, open on Saturday night. Our parents would take us down the street and park the car in front of the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And we'd sit and watch everybody at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Sit and watch everybody going by and talk to them. And just,
well, that's cool.
until they closed at 9.
For sure. Nice. So on that note, what did your parents do for a living?
My father was an insurance agent. Mm-hmm. And my mother was the stay-at-home mom.
So, did you have any hobbies when you were growing up, or was it just...
Sports.
Yeah? Okay, so going into that, what kind of sports did you participate in?
Mostly all sports, yeah. Hockey was my favorite. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned in that report there, that hockey and rugby was my next. I did a little bit of track and field.
Okay.
I played a little bit of town league baseball.
So
played golf.
So you're all over the place then.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. So your favorite was hockey then?
Yeah.
So what position did you have?
I played defense.
Okay, so going into that, is there possibly like some top moments in hockey that you really like? Do you have any stories or anything from that time?
Well, we belonged to what they called the APC League. It was the Antigonish Pictou Colchester in those days. And 1958, we went to the Maritime Championship.
Okay.
In Campbellton, New Brunswick.
Did you want to go into that a little bit?
That was quite an experience for, to travel that far from home in those days. Yeah. It took us 2 days to get there because of the weather.
Oh, so there was storms and everything?
We struck a bad storm.
Yeah.
We did quite well against them. They beat us in the end. But we were Nova Scotia champions anyway.
That's really amazing. So, moving from hockey, did you want to tell me a little bit about rugby?
Rugby wasn't that popular sport around here. Mm-hmm. I played it when I was at St. Dunstan's. We played in a league over there. Although I did play a little bit in high school here, but we didn't have any competition. Mm-hmm. From the other schools didn't have rugby teams. Just played among ourselves, but I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah. What position did you have in rugby?
I was what they call pick and quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have any stories from when you played rugby about the team or anything, or?
No stories. No, they're just a bunch of good guys to play with. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what do you think that athletics does for the community?
Well, in my case, I got to know a lot of people And when I got into business, those people were a lot of them were my customers, and I stayed in contact with, I suppose, 95% of the people that I participated with in sport.
Definitely.
Which was a good way to pick up business.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So off of that, so what do you do for a living now? Or what
now?
Did you do? Yeah.
I've been retired now for 22 years.
Mm-hmm. So what did you do before that?
What you mean what I did for living?
Yeah.
Well, I started out working in clothing stores. I worked at D.D. McDonald's for a number of years. Mm-hmm. Then I worked at Oakland Menswear. And then I worked at the Nova Scotia Liquor Commission. And then I had my own business for 27 years. Mm-hmm. And then I retired.
Okay, so...
I took over my father's business, actually, the insurance business.
Okay, so which business was it then that you said that you had a lot of interactions with the community through sports that...
Well, it was through all the businesses, actually. Mm-hmm. Like when I worked in a clothing store, a lot of the guys came in and shopped. I hope to think that it was because I was waiting on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in my insurance business, I had, my share of my friends, mm-hmm. business-wise.
That's good. Mm. So, looking into some of the nicknames and all that come along with athletics, could you tell me a little bit about how athletes would get those names, or?
Well, just for example, Ronnie Elbows. Mm-hmm. He was an ex-mayor of the town. You played hockey against Ronnie Elbows, you had to be aware of his elbows. When you're in the corner, you kept your head up. Mm-hmm. I can't think of too many nicknames that were there. Okay, no, I can't.
So going back to your time with hockey, what was the name of your team that you were on?
Antigonish Bulldogs.
So how did they get that name?
The name started, I think it was in the mid-30s.
Okay.
There was a bunch of young people got together, and a fellow named Victor McDonald, he came up with the name Bulldog. At a CYO meeting, I guess it was, that they were trying to get a name for the Antigonish team. Mm-hmm. That's the story I heard. It was Donald Victor that's presented the name Antigonish Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that from when you were competing in sports until today, do you think sports in the community has changed much?
Well, the style of the games have all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to give me a little detail about that?
Today, I know I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. We had, I remember, like at when I used to go to Senvex games, mm-hmm. There were a lot of individuals that shone,
Yeah.
Like, just for example, Jack McCallum, he could take the puck from one end of the rink to the other, go through the team, That's not done anymore. No. It's more of a team effort today than individual.
Okay.
We had a couple of guys on our own team, like Archie Boyd, Sandy Murphy, Carl McDowell. They were individuals, but they played team sport. They played team too.
For sure.
That's about the only thing I can think of for that.
Do you think that sports has lost or gained more importance in the community? Or is it about the same?
I don't enjoy the NHL like I used to when there were 6 teams.
Yeah.
When there were 6 teams, they're very, real good hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But today it's,
There's lots.
hockey's not near as good as it was then. That's just my own personal opinion.
Well, it makes sense. I feel like they add new teams
Pardon?
They add new teams all the time. And
Oh,
all that
yes,
too,
yeah.
So, yeah.
And the more they add, the weaker the league gets.
Yeah, for sure. So earlier you mentioned that you did track and field. Were there certain events that you preferred over others?
Believe it or not, high jump was my favorite.
Yeah?
At 5'6". Yeah, high jump. I did field events. I did the high jump, the triple jump, and the broad jump.
Mm-hmm.
Very little track. Yeah.
So overall, I guess like you said, your top sport was hockey.
Yeah.
So were there any other experiences or anything that stood out to you other than going out of province for the first time with that?
No, well, we had the APC league was considered a good league in those days. And then we played some against Cape Breton teams.
Yes.
Against like Glace Bay and Sydney and North Sydney and those teams.
Mm-hmm.
But no, our main thing was local. And the reason being we didn't have to travel too far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to Glasgow.
Definitely.
And you go to Stellarton or Pictou or, you know, which is only 40 miles up the road.
Yeah. Did you have any...
Transportation wasn't like it is today.
Yeah. For sure. Did you have any major rivalries with any of those teams?
New Glasgow was our major rival.
Yeah.
We had some pretty rough characters on our team. There was 3 town people on the team, and the rest were all from the county. And the farmers, of course, would be milking cows at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They were playing hockey at 7:30. They were busy people, and they were real tough guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever got in a fight, I could start with fighting and run, and let the big guys look after me.
So, tell me a little bit about what hockey was like when you were playing as opposed to what it's like now, besides just, especially with like the NHL, you were saying how it's changed so much because there's so many teams. So what specifically stood out back then?
I think it was more teamwork than individual. We had fellows, you know, a line would work well together.
Yes.
One guy might specialize on something in each line type of thing. And that's the way things went that way.
For sure. Do you still see any of the guys that you used to play with, or?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, there's not too many of them around Antigonish. A lot of them moved away, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we still go to the Cinevex games and the junior games, and yeah.
So, is that like going to those games? Is that like something that you enjoy doing then?
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is it just the hockey games that you go to, or other sports events?
Well, I go to all of this collegiate sports like basketball, and not so much football. I timed the football for 32 years.
Yeah.
And I knew more about timing than I did about the game itself. So I go to the odd game, but the weather, I'm so full of arthritis, I can't stand the weather. if it's cold or chilly at all, I don't go.
Yeah.
And I bundle up and go to the hockey games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a life pass for all sports at Cinevacs. They gave it to me for 32 years of service doing the football games.
It's amazing.
So that's nice to have.
Definitely. Were there any moments going to any of the St. FX games that you can remember? Like any stories from any goals that were made or certain plays?
Well, I mean, there'd be players that you... The hockey changed over each generation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As far back as I can remember, starting with Jackie McClellan, he was, without a doubt, I think the best hockey player that St. FX ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And you go down to the generations, you get Bobby Stevenson came 20 years later, Peter McKenzie. Those are my three favorite at St. FX. That came, generations after generations. And we got to know a lot of the players. My wife is a good hockey fan too. Mm-hmm. And we used to have the team used to take a line a week up for dinner or something like that during the winter. And so we got to know the players pretty well over a number of years.
Yeah. So what made those three players stand out amongst everyone else?
They were just exceptionally good hockey players.
Yeah.
As I said about Jackie, he could go through the whole team and back again with the puck, and they couldn't get it from him.
Yeah.
They called him Jackie Lily because he was waving like that. And Bobby Stevenson was just a good hard worker. Peter McKenzie played defense. He was about the best defenseman I remember in my day. There's a lot of them. I can go back quite a few years, but I think Peter was one of the better defensemen. I play defense, and that's why I like defense.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the interview. Did you have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
No, I don't
maybe?
think. I think being involved in sports really helped me in business.
Yeah.
I can say that much.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it influence
and
any
get
other?
to know a lot of people through sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a lot of connectivity in the community, I think, that it helps bring forward.
And I got involved in the community. I was, I sat on a lot of boards and stuff like that over the years.
Definitely. All right. So
okay.
that's it.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.